So, it was going to be Halloween, and Nelson and Socks really wanted some mints, as usual. Socks said to Nelson, "Nelson, how are we going to get some mints?" Kai said, "No mints for any of us." And Nelson said, "Socks, I have an idea. It's coming up to Halloween, and you know what happens at Halloween?" And Socks said, "No." And Nelson said, "Well, at Halloween, human kids get all dressed up in costumes, and they go and they walk around the neighborhood, and they go up to houses and they go trick or treat, and then people give them candy." And Socks went, "People give them candy?" And Nelson went, "People give them candy." And Socks went, "Why?" And Nelson went, "People give them candy." And Socks went, "But we're not human kids. People won't give us candy." And Nelson said, "But Socks, what you don't understand is they'll think we're human kids in costume. They'll think we're in horse costumes, and they'll give us candy. Our costumes are so good." And Socks said, "Oh, Nelson, you're a genius." And Nelson said, "Thanks very much." And so that night was Halloween, and they let themselves out of their stall, and they went sneaking off down the road on tiptoes. And they went up to one door, and they rang at the doorbell, and a man came to the door, and Nelson said, "Trick or treat!" because that was all he could say in English. And Socks said, "Mint!" because that was all he could say. And the man said, "What fantastic horse costumes you made. Here, let me get you some candy." And he came back with some chocolate. And Nelson and Socks looked at it and they went, "This isn't very good." Then they turned and they walked away. And then they came to another door, and they went up and rang on the doorbell, and a woman answered. And Nelson said, "Trick or treat!" And Socks said, "Mint!" And the woman said, "What fantastic horse costume do you have? Here, let me go and get you some peanuts." And she came back with some peanuts. And Socks said, "This isn't very good, Nelson." And I said, "I know." And they turned and they went away. And then they went up to another door, and they rang the doorbell, and Socks said, "No." And they rang the doorbell, and I said, "Trick or treat!" And big dog in town, and they ran away, and they hear the dog going, and they ran and ran, and Socks said to Nelson, "This isn't working out so well, Nelson. You said there'd be lots of mints." And Nelson said, "I know, I'm sure there'll be mints. It seemed like such a good idea, but I don't know what's going wrong." And they carried on running, and then in the middle of the road they saw a little girl standing there all on her own, looking very sad. And when she saw them, she burst into tears. And they went up to her, and Nelson said, "Trick or treat!" by which he meant, "What's wrong, little girl?" And Socks said, "Mint!" by which he meant, "How can we help?" And the little girl said, "I was out trick-or-treating with my friends, and I'm dressed as a horse, and here I am. I'm out trick-or-treating, and I lost my friends, and I lost my way, and I don't know how to get home, and I'm cold, and I'm tired, and your horse costumes are better than mine." And Nelson looked at Socks, and Socks looked at Nelson, and Nelson said, "Uh-oh, there's a big problem for this little girl." And Socks said, "I know, Nelson." And Nelson gestured towards his back, meaning "Get up here," and said, "Trick or treat!" And the girl went, "Trick or treat?" And Nelson went, "Trick or treat!" And the girl went, "You mean get on your back?" And Nelson went, "Trick or treat!" And the girl went, "You could just say get on my back." And Socks said, "Mint!" And the little girl got on Nelson's back, and they started off walking around the neighborhood to see if they could find the little girl.